Hi, my name is Tony Smith, and my wife Mary Smith and I are the co-founders to the Keys to Enlightenment program. The following lessons are taken from copyrighted materials belonging to our organization. To learn more about us and our program, go to www.keystoenlightenment.com. This is lesson 5 on the topic Discovering Your Purpose in Life, and we'll be going over the timeline assessment. And as we remember our life review, I will read each question and write answers to each one that I give. Okay, question number 1. Which of the interests of your childhood carried into your interests as a teenager or very young adult? Okay, question number 2. What constructive or creative expression, if anything, have you always felt you did not have enough time to do, yet had a yearning to do more of it or to do it? And question number 3. If you had only 2 years to live, what would be your unfinished business? Would you try to get some of it done? And if so, why? Or if not, why? Okay, now the next exercise is quite simple and very brief. And look at your answers to the questions that we just answered, questions 1, 2, and 3, and make a note of any answers that were the same in 2 or more cases. Okay, now we're going to switch gears a little bit and go and take a look at the divine urges. And so we're going to explain the divine urges in the next part of this lesson. So examine the list that I'm about to give you. There will be 1 or 2 of these divine urges that are equally strong in your sense of ideal purpose for living. Acknowledge that 1 of 2 of these as guides to your individual purpose for being in the world. And this would not include the purpose that is common to all, which is the evolution of spiritual consciousness. The 8 spiritual urges that all human beings sense within themselves as human instincts. Okay, number 1 is the desire for freedom to express. Number 2, the desire for companionship, sharing activities with others. Number 3, the desire for security, interpreted by most as a desire to assure against lack and loss. It promotes collecting or storing possessions of money, but it is also the desire to be free from troubles or impedances of any kind. Number 4 is the desire for intimacy or personal love, which is personal caring, and the personal caring promotes desire to assure security, companionship, and freedom for the loved ones, as well as to assure those for self, but the concept of what would give assurance to self or loved ones is specific to the individual's perception. Number 5 is a desire to communicate thoughts and ideas to others. Number 6, desire to develop knowledge and to use the knowledge that one has gained in support of their values or desires. Now, the next 2 urges of the Holy Spirit are experienced strongly only by those who are primarily on a conscious spiritual path and secondarily on a worldly path. The average person does not experience the following desires except in regard to human relations and worldly or political social matters. Okay, so number 7 is perfect harmony in the environment. It is a dual desire to A, experience the presence of God within themselves and to communicate the feeling of that to others. It is very like the number 4 instinctive urge listed above, and the name love is used for both. But for those who experience the quality of love that is realized when immersed in the divine presence within, this desire is not specific to certain individuals. And B, it is a desire to see everyone content and free from trouble so they might experience harmony as well. It is a desire to love and be loved without requirements. To love, in support of this urge, is interpreted as simply to cooperate, to practice small acts of kindness to everyone, to be cheerful, and to be affectionate and kind in attitude with no intent to harm others. Development and expression of some type of artistic or musical talent is often the purpose of one of these urges. Number 8. This desire prompted by the divine presence within is a desire to directly serve a spiritual purpose. And this is done by expressing in 3 ways. A passion to focus on development of spiritual knowledge and understanding of God and ultimate reality through direct communion with the Source. No longer satisfied to just experience harmony and love in the presence, but to receive knowledge from the Source as well, as from study and contemplation of what seems true. B, a passion for self-improvement in relation to one's own spiritual standards. And C, a compulsion to combine their spiritual knowledge and powers of mind with their practical knowledge and their practical skills to problem solve the environment that they are inhabiting. Notice that this is the first urge of the Holy Spirit or the divine presence that is balanced between self-service and service to others. Previously, the focus is predominantly on self-service only, or sacrifice, or which is service to others only. Now, regardless of which desire or combination of desires you sense most strongly, the type of services you can offer through your soul's purpose are limited only by the interests, talents, knowledge, and skills that you have developed up to a given point in your spiritual journey. The 2 major urges that you would be serving if you are currently serving your purpose, or if you should begin serving your purpose, are, number 1, the urge for freedom of self-expression, and number 8, the urge to apply your knowledge to primarily serving one of the other purposes. Remember, your purpose answers the question, why? How you do it could be any number of the above, or the secondaries. My personal experience is my purpose is triple, is to stay consciously close to God, to remain integrated within my own consciousness, and to attempt to assist others in their quest for spiritual understanding, spiritual awareness, and spiritual development. That is my motivation for doing what I do as my way of life. What I do in order to serve that purpose and how I do it has changed over the years. Right now, I serve my purpose primarily through teaching, counseling, and following the keys that I have named in the Keys to Enlightenment program. Your perception of how you want to serve your spirit-driven purpose would lie somewhere between the 2nd and the 8th spiritual desires. After identifying your most prominent desire for expression, you would see a need to develop knowledge and skills, or to improve and channel your talents into an effort to contribute to the fulfillment of that desire for yourself and others who are served by your contribution to it. See, the exercise that we're about to do may help with this. Consider each of the questions below one at a time. Then make a list that prioritizes desire number 2 through 8 according to your personal preference. State the order in which you feel spirit driven to express each one. Your willingness to claim your freedom to serve your own soul's purpose is the fulfillment of urge number 1. This does not mean you would do nothing else. In fact, you might very well need to express your purpose as an avocation and not a vocation. That depends on the responsibilities you have made for yourself and what you feel you need to have. Purpose is about what you need to do. Number 1, do you want to serve the ideal of companionship through loving and harmless socialization? What skills or knowledge would you need? Anything from socialization to shared activities of every kind. Number 2, do you want to serve the ideal of security for self in a way that benefits yourself and others? What skills and knowledge would you need? Security could be in material, emotional, financial, or spiritual ways. Number 3, do you want to serve the ideal of personal intimacy in a way that contributes power to that for both yourself and others? If so, what skills and knowledge would you need? This could be experience in close relationships or close friendships, functional family relationships, significant other relationships, human to animal relations, etc. Do you want to serve the ideal of effectively sharing your ideas through communication? This is number 4. If so, what skills and knowledge would you need? Speaking, writing, teaching, lecturing, etc. Number 5. Do you want to serve the ideal of developing knowledge and applying the knowledge that you have? Intaking and processing ideas, using them for whatever seems good to you? If so, what skills and awareness would you need? It could be as worldly as being an auto mechanic or as ethereal as living the life of a yogi in an ashram. Number 6. Do you want to serve the ideal of harmonious interaction with life and others through loving, cooperative expression? This could be done by direct human interaction or through an artistic talent that demonstrates the use of order, love, and harmonic attunement. Those talents might be music, writing songs or poetry, sculpture, painting, artistic gardening, creative cooking, writing literature, creative dance, etc. Number 7. Do you want to serve the ideal of spiritual purpose? Then you must connect your sense of God's plan with one of the previously mentioned ideals. One of your spirit-driven purposes would be to grow closer and more knowledgeable of God, the other to perform an impersonal service that benefits others. Impersonal meaning not limited to one person, but a service available to all who qualify. So next week we will continue on our search for what is our purpose in life. Blessings of peace and spiritual power to all of you. Namaste.